Welcome to Backyards and Bevvies. Grab your favorite bevy, pull up a chair, and enjoy the ride. Hey, B&B fam. This podcast is sponsored to you by BetterHelp, H-E-L-P. Is there something getting in the way of your happiness? I know when I traveled the world, I had many days where BetterHelp's worldwide service of licensed professional therapists could have helped me speak to someone no matter where I was in the world about whatever was happening with my life, and with zero judgment. With their ability to match me with a therapist that best fits me, I know my mental health would have been way better back then. Believe me, I needed it. But I'm here to share a way for you to take back control of your mental health by telling you about BetterHelp's awesome services they have for you to talk with a pro about your life through their app or just online. Whether it is a video session or some simple messaging, their team is here to help. I went to check out the app for myself just to see how easy it was to use, and after a series of questions, I was told I would be able to start matching with a therapist in under 48 hours. And what is super rad is that it's affordable and they even offer financial aid too. So come join the 2 million users that have already been helped and gain back control of your mental health by visiting betterhelp.com/backyards for 10% off your first month. Remember, BetterHelp is therapy done securely online. Don't forget to use the special code BACKYARDS and let BetterHelp, H-E-L-P, help you to start living a happier life today. And we are back.
Hi, everybody.
Technically, we really didn't go anywhere, but we had a baby.
I disappeared for a minute.
You know what's funny is now that we've gone to the new, welcome to Backyards and Bevvies.
Welcome.
Still forgetting how to do that.
I know.
One day I'll get it down.
We're on episode 55 or something.
We are on episode 55, so I'm thinking probably episode 5005.
We'll get there.
I'll be like, welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Backyards and Bevvies. But yeah, we're in the backyard. We are back from pregnancy leave.
Yeah, maternity
leave. That's what you call it these days.
Yeah, I'm technically still on maternity leave, but from work.
I'm pretty sure I saw you answer an email on the operating table.
Not on the operating table, but shortly after. I did. Shortly after I checked my email.
Balance. No, but
if it was on the operating table, I would say I've got a problem.
Yeah, no, you were actually pretty good about it, and we had discussed that prior to us even going into
only the very, very important emails that could only be answered by me.
Well, you're at a different spot in your career where answering an email is one thing. You're not going in and sifting through paper and
I'm not going to in-person meetings,
dealing with calendars on a crazy level,
late night events.
No. You're just you're truly at a place where you're helping out, making sure that your artists are running their ship is running smoothly.
Yes.
It's sailing through the night.
Yes.
It was a vast ocean.
Turbulent.
But yeah, we had a little baby. She's cute.
She's super cute.
I think I'm running on fumes.
Yeah, I
starting
would say
to fill the tank back up.
Yeah, we're getting there. She's slowly starting to get acclimated to her schedule. I mean, she really does awesome.
Yeah.
Except for 9 to midnight. That's her witching hour now.
She likes to party late.
It's crazy.
It is wild. She can. Yeah. That girl will sleep. We try to do everything that we're supposed to do by this little book that we have. Mom's on Call. Good on you.
The best book.
Best. I love them.
Swear by it.
And then everything's fine. And then all of a sudden it's 9:30. She's like, cool.
I'm awake.
Baby rave.
Yeah, 100% baby's first rave. Ooch.
At this point, she's been to about 30 raves.
She has been to a bunch of raves. Well, yeah, and by the time this episode comes out, she will be a month old already.
Yeah. So
crazy.
It is wild. It's crazy. It really is. I've said it, I think, on the show before. Time goes so fast with kids.
So fast. I mean, I really can't believe it's been that long already.
No. But we're here. We made it. We're alive. They're alive.
Yes.
Everyone's alive. We're
thriving. We're thriving.
Yeah, it is hard though. 2 is hard.
2 is hard.
2 is a new ball game. All the people out there that have 2 kids.
The exhaustion level is different.
And have jobs.
Yeah.
Because I'm jobless.
You're not jobless. Not at all. You just work from home. You're not jobless.
But when you're trying to do stuff, I mean, there is a completely different scheduling involved.
Mhm.
You know, it is not just wake up, one kid, slap him in a chair, do your thing.
No.
It is 2 full-on humans that need a lot of attention.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, thanks to that Moms on Call book, they are both down and asleep for 2+ hours at the same time every day, which
yes.
is what they're doing right now. They are both napping
Yeah. No,
at the same time right now, which gives us every day at least 2 hours, sometimes a little more, where we can get all kinds of things done.
Yeah, we can work, we can catch up. I mean, it's been...
Nap.
You're a napper. I'm not a napper.
I'm still healing.
Yeah, you are. You went through some pretty major surgery.
Mhm.
They ripped your guts out.
They did.
Ripped her out.
Yep.
Big party in there.
Put me all
too.
back together.
Put you all back together.
I got discharged from the hospital,
Went
went back
back
again,
again.
just like last time with our firstborn. Pregnancy and I have a hard time when it's
Yeah.
labor and delivery time.
I
But this
mean-
time was easier than the first time. It was better.
I give you props. I give any mom props. Going through labor is no joke.
Mm.
I will tip my hat to any woman out there. I mean, you guys go through probably way more pain than we do anyways.
Yes.
But then add pregnancy into your bag of tricks that you've done.
Well, and it's crazy, too, with C-sections, which I've had to have both times.
Yeah.
It's the only major surgery where they send you home with Tylenol.
It's pretty cool.
Like, nothing stronger, because if you're going to breastfeed, you can't be passing narcotics along through your breast milk to your baby. So it's basically like, all right, well, enjoy suffering. At least you'll be at home.
At least you're home.
Yeah.
Don't lift anything heavy.
Yeah. Also, what you really, really need to get better is rest.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to feed your baby every 2 hours. So good luck.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Well, you're making it. I'm proud of you.
We got this.
You probably look thinner on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would hope so. I've lost almost 30 pounds already, which
That's
is
what I mean.
crazy.
The camera still adds.
Camera's
10.
adding some more. But
The camera adds 10 still, no matter how you slice it. But you are definitely looking better.
Why,
you
thank
have
you.
your Halloween.
I do have my Halloween onesie on. Anything that is loose fitting right now is the most comfortable because of my surgery spot. So
All your rigs are pretty stretchy and pretty.
Yep. I have on all the stretchy stuff for sure.
I've put on a couple pounds myself.
You have done no such thing.
I put on 2 pounds.
Oh, 2 whole pounds.
I-
Merp, merp.
You know, I need some sympathy about this as well, but you know, we can talk about that in another episode. But we're having our first. Today has been we say it all. I think we say it almost every show. Like, God, today is busy. We've been up to a lot of stuff.
We have been up to a lot of stuff.
But we're always doing something,
Mhm.
and a lot of times it really is something that is important to either the household or
Mhm.
to something that you're doing with your job or something that I'm working on with the project.
Mm-hmm.
So we're always finding ourselves into something,
Yeah.
and this is like no joke. Like
Not
I mean,
not a lot of downtime in the Chris family.
like sometimes I listen to things and I'm like, that was a setup. They're
Yeah.
setting this up. Today, we had said, like, hey, what topic do you want to talk to? I threw out 3 topics, and you chose the middle one.
Mm-hmm.
And I went outside to do some stuff. But before we get there, we're having champagne for the first time, too, by the way.
Yeah. First cocktail on Backyards and Bevvies for me in 10 months.
Cheers. Yeah, and I haven't actually really been drinking that
Mhm.
much either, so.
Mm-mm. Cheers. Celebrating the growth of our family and being back together
Delicious.
on Backyards and Bevvies.
Yeah,
So
I
delicious.
put a liquid IV. This is how busy we've been today. I put a liquid IV in here,
Mhm.
the energy one.
Yeah, and then you
and so
poured
I-
energy drink into your champagne.
And then I poured energy drink into my champagne.
You need all the energy.
I was about ready to just grab a whole nother energy drink.
I almost
Not
did
that
too.
this liquid IV, I do the liquid IV energy strictly because of I don't drink enough water sometimes.
Yes, that is very
And
true.
it does give me enough energy, but
Yeah.
I really do like,
It helps you stay hydrated.
I am a caffeine freak, so
Same.
doesn't matter. Like liquid energy, good on you, but I drink 40 different things with caffeine.
100%.
If I could add coffee too to this party, I would have.
You would. Absolutely.
But that's because I do go. I go and I go and I go and I go
Mhm.
and it's not to be brag. It has nothing to hold over anyone. It's my own personal choice.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many things that I want to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
We're never, one thing that we're never guaranteed is tomorrow.
That's
so,
true.
it's like I would like to accomplish as much as I can every day, whether it be for the family, for community, for, so it leaves us really busy. And, today, like I said, we were choosing topics and this isn't a setup. It worked
This
out.
actually happened this way.
Worked out perfectly because, like sometimes, we talk about things we're like, yeah, this seems like a good setup into
here's how we'll segue into that.
Yeah. Today, no, I went out to wash the car, and sure enough, I went to start it, and it didn't start.
Yay.
And I did two things in my brain.
Did you have a little mini panic moment? Like, uh-oh.
Nope, I didn't, because I had already moved your mom's car to wash her car.
Yeah.
So I was like, that was the main goal. I just was washing our car to get all the leaf junk off of it.
Yeah.
Our leaves. The leaf junk. The leaf junk and the sap tend to run wild at this house. And so I was like, I'll just give it a quick wash. And then she didn't start. And I said,
uh-oh.
Crap. Poop.
Oh, poop.
Poop. And something flashed in my brain because in the conversation we had this morning about the topic, I was like, it'd be fun to talk about Homer Simpson. Because there's an episode where Homer gets drunk and then eats a gallon of mayo. Ugh. And Marge is yelling at him and he says something like, well, that's for future Homer.
That's a problem for future Homer.
Exactly. He has to deal with it, not me. And I was like, it's a fun topic because I think a lot of us do that. I think I do it. You do it.
We reference that quite a bit.
It is a running joke here because, well, for one, I like The Simpsons. For two, I listen to Bishop Barron, who also likes The Simpsons. And then I listen to Jordan Peterson, who references Homer and his neuroticism.
Yeah.
And how silly that show is. But it's a very, in a weird way, it's a very truthful show in the fact of how, he is a father that's really, ultimately he's just trying to be a dad.
Right.
That
trying and failing, but all over the place, but he's trying.
He loves his family, yeah. Ultimately, he loves his family. He wants the best for him, but he gets in his own way by doing dumb things.
Yes. Problems for future Homer, though.
Problems, but we all are there. I do it all the time. I'm like, you know what? I'll just let that little thing slide.
And you could have done that with the car this morning.
I almost did. And then I said, nope, because you know what's going to happen? The other car's not going to
future Phil will have another issue, and he'll be like, I should have fixed this the other day.
I should have just dealt with this when it was... And I did. I took the time, and I knew that we were recording this afternoon, and I just put all other things in my brain on hold, and I sat down, and I thought about what I needed to do to take care of it, and I got it working again.
You did.
Doesn't matter how I did it. I just did.
But you did.
And that's something to be said about that is very... I know at least tomorrow, if I go out there and it doesn't start again, well...
At least you tried to fix it on your own already, and now we just need to get it to the shop.
I got it started today, which means that I at least put forth the effort.
Yes.
And it's hard to think about that, on in a big way, when you think about multiple years. Because we, like I said earlier, we're not guaranteed tomorrow. Anything could happen. So, you're like, wake up, and you're like, tonight, this morning, I'm not going to work out. I'm going to go get myself a Cinnabon and a large coffee, extra sugar, milk, cream, latte, pumpkin spice latte, whatever you want.
All of this sounds delicious. I'm not pregnant anymore, but this sounds great. And then especially the Cinnabon part.
And then you're like, then your day goes on and you have a bad morning, you cut off. Just life is stacking up on top of you. You finally get home, you're like, you know what? F it.
It just throws your whole day off.
I'm gonna make a drink. I'm gonna make 2 drinks. Then I'm gonna make 3 drinks.
Wasted the day.
Next thing you know, it's midnight.
Yeah.
You go to bed. You have to be up early again. You're hungover. The process repeats, right? It's the cycle. Well, you're not thinking about that morning workout as like, oh, if I miss today, it's gonna mess me up in 5 years.
Right.
Because that's kind of a long... It's hard to really tell...
Hard to look that far.
Well, it's hard to tell where you're going to be, too. But that's kind of the best thing to look at, though, even though you don't know what's going to happen in 5 years, whether you'll even have legs or you'll
Who
be,
knows?
you know, in all reality, you just don't. So I say that, like, well, for me, I think about future Phil a lot now. But I don't think about what future Phil is actually doing. I kind of just think, well, if I do things right today,
hopefully I'll still be around.
well, not just that. Hopefully, if I do everything that I should or that I could possibly do correctly today, whether it be tell the truth, whether it be just be nice to someone, whether it be nice to myself, hopefully that pays off in dividends down the road. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. Well, and I think, you know, we had an episode before where we talked about procrastination and the force of average. And I think the problem for future Phil, problem for future Berkeley, PKBK, however we want to refer to ourselves. It's been a minute. You know, that also boils down to procrastination in a lot of instances. So when you referenced earlier that I was checking my email, like basically as soon as they got me to the recovery room after my C-section, like, yes, that's a little ridiculous and crazy. However, for me, the reason that I have continued to check my email every day, I'm not responding to every email, but I'm checking them is because I don't want future BK to have 1,000 unread emails when I go back to work, which is exactly what will happen.
Yeah.
And then future BK will be digging out of emails and issues for the rest of the year.
Exactly.
So by taking a couple of minutes here and there and just checking to make sure there's nothing urgent, or reading through a couple of threads and knowing like, okay, this is where we're at for when I get back, it definitely helps future BK not have a massively stressful return to work.
That is a very good way. That is a really good description. Like, you, I think, always have the best descriptions. I struggle some days.
You're very
but I do see that. Like, it you know, it's like, man, how can I look at today and then be better? Well, think about who the future you wants to be. You know, maybe you want to be just able to walk better.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you're a little overweight and you're like, you know what? Maybe I don't ever really care for a six-pack or all the things or all the freaking, you know, I don't need big muscles. But I would just like to not be winded.
Yeah, 100%.
But that starts the process of future you. Or future, maybe I don't want to show up to the office and always have my boss harp on me. Well, how can you, like, get away from that or get around that stuff?
Or make it better?
It starts with not leaving it for future you to deal with.
Yeah.
Because
current you needs to try and find a solution.
Well, because living in the moment, you hear these, like, social gurus talk about a lot of that stuff. Like, live in the moment, live today. You can't live in the past. You can't live in the future. Well, yes, and yes. But past stuff has to cross your mind to represent something that you're like, okay, I really didn't like that.
You can't only live in the present.
Yeah, you have to be present in the present. Yeah. You have to be aware in the present. You have to be understanding what's happening around you in the present, but you can't necessarily just live as if right this second is the only second that absolutely matters, because then you leave yourself up for too much.
Definitely.
Then you're like playing the lottery with your life every second of every day I don't know anyone who's won the lottery, so
no,
I can't say that anyone's really good at it.
Yeah.
But future PK has goals. So future PK really has to sit in a pocket and really analyze, like a supercomputer some days, is this the best thing that I need to do in this moment that will then separate me down the road from being just average PK to extraordinary PK.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's no better way to do that than to look at what you're doing right now and say, do I like what I'm doing right now? Do I dislike what I'm doing right now? And for me, I've been there. Like, I can preach to anyone who ever asked me, like, how do you feel right now in life? I feel great, to be honest. I'm freaking slammed. I feel like I think some days I do something in the morning and I'll like reference it at night and you're like, that was today. And I'm like, oh man, I thought that was like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
And it's just because
all our days are running together.
Because we're
right
doing
now.
stuff on a different level where we really are. We're conscious of what future BK and PK want.
Yes.
So then in that moment when we're doing things, we're like, well, would it be nice to come home from the hospital now that we can drink?
Yeah.
Now that we can do anything we want in up to a certain extent. And yeah, let's just sit on the couch and party. Yeah. We did it. We had a kid. We're successful.
Hooray.
But that doesn't leave us for anything good down the road. So we really had to come home and get busy.
We did.
You know, like thankfully your mom was here to help us
Thank goodness.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, she's been the best.
Took a lot of weight off of our shoulders.
For sure.
But here come, a day or two from now.
She goes home and it's just you, me.
Yeah. You said it the other day, and I'm only going to call you out right now because I want this on tape.
Oh.
Check, 1 2 1 2.
Uh-oh.
Are
you about to give future PK a problem? I think you might be. Cautious.
Choose words wisely.
Uh-huh.
No, but you said you're going to wake up early.
And I did today.
But that's my point, though, is that you are starting the process. You didn't.
You asked me to, and I was like, okay, I will do that.
It was a joint effort, though, because if we want future BK and future PK to work out, well, then we're going to have to figure out how to compromise on some things.
Work out, like, as in exercise?
Forever.
Or
marriage-wise.
Sassy.
But that is the key, though. I think that's the goal, though, is that, as a couple, okay, individually I have my goals. Individually you have your goals. Together we have to find that medium and say, okay, well, look, like I want to wake up at this time and do X, Y, and Z. Okay, well, I want to wake up at this time. And it's like, well, how about we do this at this time together? Because that'll alleviate pressure on us at this time, and so forth down the road. So,
and to clarify,
what? For
future PK's reference?
Yes.
When you said get up early, it's not like I was sleeping in.
I never said you were sleeping in.
I went from getting up at 6:45 to getting up at 6:15.
I just mean like,
Let's not act like I was sleeping until like 11.
No. But that's a hard hour to get up in.
It is. Especially when you're up at other hours during the night because of the baby, for sure.
100%. And so
you're a champion, though, getting up at 4 still to work out.
I have the past few days, I've had to hit my snooze a few times.
You've still been up before 5 and have worked out.
It's hard. But
it's impressive.
Future Phil thanks me.
Future Phil does.
Yeah, I don't know that guy right
Future
now.
BK thanks you.
Yeah. If you want to... Hey, look, I'm just going to throw this out here. We're going to have more kids. You're going to want me to keep working out.
Yes. Yes, that is true. That is true. I appreciate it. And as soon as I am allowed to work out, I will be up with you and we will get back to doing that together.
But this is a good episode because I think, generally people are good about future themselves. Like, let's be real. I would say 90% of my friends are good at looking after future themselves. I mean, like, we don't really...
Whoa.
I think we have a drag racer on our
Yeah,
screen.
that was intense.
It was intense.
F1 came to town.
And they're in Austin.
They are.
Yeah, I mean, but we surround ourselves with highly intelligent,
driven individuals.
Pursuing life at a high level, which I think, if you're not, you should.
Yeah.
I hate to say it that way, but, we are a product of who's around us. We're a product of...
Well, we want to be pushed by those that we surround ourselves with.
Heck yeah. I think if I didn't push you to wake up early, to work out, to do all the things, you eventually would then yell at me and be like, how'd you let me get like this? Because I've seen it. Like, I love my stepmom. I love my dad, but they went through it at one point, you know? They went through something very similar to that, which is besides the point here, but, well, I guess that is the point here. But I'm not going to go into the complete story because it's their business.
Right.
But they went through something that I watched them both. They could have been better to each other about it because the future themselves would have enjoyed what they could have done.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's no rub to them.
No.
But looking at it in my perspective, I see that thing and I'm like, well, I'm going to push myself to never get to that point because I want it to work out.
Right.
So, you know, it's things to think about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reality.
Yeah.
Reality's tough.
It definitely is.
I mean, I don't think that there's a moment in my day that it's hard to think because I do get online, right? And then I'll be like, oh, I want to go look at this. And I'll start looking at something like, dang it, stop. You got to go do this. And that's hard because in my old job, breaking that habit from my old job is the hardest part to that. Because my old job, I was able to screw around in between the hours of X and, you know, from like half the day. Once I got the PA set up and I got it tuned, I could do whatever I really wanted. I could sit there on Facebook and Instagrams and
do whatever.
And it's hard to look at my life now and be like, do I ever want to waste time again?
Yeah, I mean, well, and it's interesting too because you do have to look at it as time wasted. Yeah. So it's one thing to take time off to relax or to go on vacation or whatever, but it's something else entirely on like a regular basis.
Yeah.
To just throw time away.
Throwing time away is so hard right now for me. I mean, look, I'm going to this conference.
I know.
When this airs, it'll probably be a countdown of like 3 weeks.
A couple weeks, yeah.
And leading up to this conference, I have to walk in with 2 things. And building those things is hard. So like when I get behind the computer, okay, the schedule has changed for our kids, right? Like right now we have extra help because your mom's sweet and she's here. But when that goes away, it's like crunch time. I have to look at my computer. I have to look at that desk in there as a full-on job. If I have 10 minutes and I can go on there and do something, I need to utilize it for that.
Right.
And so it's changing, and I've noticed it too because, you know, I was able to interact more on the social medias a little bit. But since adding another mouth to the family, I've noticed that, you know, like I've had to pull back on what I'm doing inside of the social media. And it's helpful. I feel like I haven't lost anything with our friends and fans.
But it's an adjustment.
But it is an adjustment.
And I mean, I think you'll get some of that back once I'm able to be more help with our son, because I'm just not allowed to lift anything that's anywhere near as heavy as he is right now for 6 weeks. But once I'm able to be fully back in action with both kids instead of with just one, you know, that'll help.
For sure.
But that, of course, that time isn't coming until the day you go to that conference. So.
Those are those things though in life that you're always going to be strapped to something. And if you're not, then I don't think you're really pushing yourself. I mean, does that make sense? Does that sound, I mean, I don't want it to sound rude, but
I think people just have to honestly, like, that's the key, is honestly open your eyes and take a look at yourself.
Yeah.
How hard are you working towards whatever it is that your goal is?
That is a good point. Because your goal...
because you could be working hard.
Yeah.
But are you working as hard as you could be?
Efficient.
As hard as your future self would have wanted you to be working if you looked back on you.
Yeah. Like efficiency, too.
Yeah.
Because you could be working and running circles around your house all day long.
Right.
And not do anything.
Right.
vice versa. You can be behind your computer for 2 or 3 hours, do exactly what you need to do, be done, and then move forward.
Right.
So I think it is a little bit of time management. Just blew into the microphone.
Freaking spider on my microphone. Get out of here.
It's just a little guy.
I want him out of here.
Okay, you're blowing up people's car speakers right now. Sorry, whoever lost their hearing, we apologize.
Get out of here.
Just leave it alone.
Why do they always come to me?
I don't know.
Every time.
I have to cut these out of the show.
No, leave them in. It's funny.
My listeners are like, gosh, not another freaking spider.
That's how I feel.
Well, we're going to have to replace some freaking subwoofers in people's cars.
It wasn't that bad. All right, moving on.
Thank you.
Super rude.
So yeah. So I'm not going to harp on it. I thought that it was a really fun discussion because at the end of the day, I hear a lot of people always say, like, I wish I could do this. And I wish I could do that. Or, like, I'll tell them what, like, the project is I've started to share with more and more people. They'd be like, freak, I want to do that. Or, shit, like, why didn't I think of that? Or, I have something like that, but, you know, I'm just busy.
It's like, well,
It's
you
like,
gotta find the time.
well,
You gotta make the time.
It's not that you're busy, because we're all busy. Everybody's busy. I mean, at least all my friends have jobs, so I could at least say that, okay, that's one thing. Or you don't have a job, but you have a kid.
Or both. You have a job and a kid.
You have a job and a kid, or 2 kids. Everybody's busy. So I'm busy. It sucks. Staying up late and working on something.
It's hard.
I fell asleep the other day working on the project. Like, not full on, like, nap, but I was there behind the computer.
Eyes closed.
And all of a sudden I could feel, like, my eyes getting real heavy.
Yep.
And I, like, I was like, okay. But I started to get ineffective, so I went to bed. But I came back the next day, but I finished off a couple things I had to do, so I didn't lose my place. I came back, I knocked it out, and I found time in the day to be more efficient. Like, I was like, oh, here's a nice break. I'm wide awake right now. I have my thought process. Go do it. Don't go do anything else right now. Don't worry about the laundry, because you can do laundry when you're half asleep.
Yes. It can run while you are actually
Exactly.
asleep.
Yeah, like, that's prioritizing time better. Is like, what can I do when I don't have to use so much brain power? And it's like, oh, laundry. I'll use laundry. Or, I'll use laundry. I'll do my laundry right now. And, you done over there? I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
You handed me the thing to get rid of the spider.
I didn't think you were gonna like whack at it with like a tennis racket.
You know me and spider.
Gosh, I'm definitely cutting this out.
If you're watching the YouTube, you're seeing me get so red right now.
Bright red.
Oh,
Bright red.
you're so mean. Oh my goodness.
Well, anyways, future BK.
And future PK are going to have to do some editing.
No, I'm just going to leave this in. Our listeners are just going to have to listen to us talk about spiders again. It's only when you're on the show.
Well, it's because they only like me, apparently, even though I'm afraid of them.
Well, you know, I did read a fun fact about mosquitoes the other day.
Oh?
I guess depending on how much, not acid, it's like, not sulfur. Your body excretes something, and depending on how much of that it excretes,
does it make you like more attractive to the mosquitoes?
Makes you more attractive, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So, forget what it was. It wasn't sulfur.
No, I don't think we secrete sulfur. That's poisonous.
O2 gases, maybe.
CO2?
No.
We'll have to look it up. Future PK and BK will let you guys know next time.
Future PK and future BK.
What the mosquitoes are attracted to.
I do like that as a tagline to life, though. I like to use it. I think it's a fun way to interact with. You know, have you ever like sometimes you don't like the way I call you out on things.
Mm-hmm.
But it softens
Most of the time, I appreciate it.
Yeah, it softens the blow when I say it in the sense like, oh, would future BK do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or are you really going to want to do that in the future?
It's a good
BK?
It's a good reminder in the present of like, hey, take a second and think about this.
It is a good reminder. And as you progress through your day, I know that there's going to be times where you just don't want to push any farther.
Yeah.
Don't push. Just figure out a way to shift.
Just
reset, find something that helps you. Because that ultimately, like I said, if you're falling asleep behind your computer, you're not doing work. Anyways, you might as well go fall asleep, rethink it, find a better time to do what you can do, or shift priorities. 100%. Yeah. And then, boom.
Yeah.
Bam.
Wow.
So, yeah, do you want to add anything to that?
I mean, I think you're absolutely right. I like that we use the future PK and future BK reference. You know, I think it does keep us on task for sure. It's a great way to reset your pattern of thinking without like harping on each other about things.
Yeah. Honesty is a hard thing to swallow. A hard pill to swallow, a hard whatever to swallow. People don't want to hear you should have done that.
Right.
So maybe in a relationship, maybe it's not you should do this. Maybe is that the best decision for us?
Have you thought about this? Yeah.
You know, 'cause
have you thought about it from an us perspective versus a
me
self perspective? Yeah.
Because there's always going to be a me perspective in a relationship. There has to be a little bit of that. Of course. You can't just be like even with
you can't be 100% give. No, it's not gonna work.
No, like I like to do things certain ways. You like to do things certain ways. But when we think about it in 10 years from now, if we only do it our way, then then we might as well
won't be here 10 years from now.
We might as well just be you and me then.
Yeah.
But if we really give it an honest go, then that's what matters. And I love the Simpsons reference being part of it, because I think in our generation we grew up with that show. We're all familiar with who Homer is.
Yes.
We're all familiar, and even if you're not 100% Simpsons fan, you still know that Homer is a kind of that guy. He is that guy. And he's a good representation of what you kind of don't want to be. In a funny way.
Yeah.
Like they definitely use his character to their advantage to make the show even more funny when it comes down to a family situation.
Absolutely.
They poke fun at him so much, and I think that it's a great way to think about it.
I do too. Well, Homer is very much he strives to be average, not above average.
The force of average is working really good. Like Ryan Stewman, if he ever heard this and he was like, who's a great example of the force of average taking over, it would be Homer Simpson. Because
for sure.
He is the epitome of like, I gotta go fix something.
Well, current Homer is future Homer's worst enemy.
Exactly.
Because current Homer does not care about what goes on for future Homer. It's only about current.
Yeah. I think about it all the time when I talk to Neil and he's dealing with remodels. Especially when he's like talking to me specifically about fixing another contractor's issue. Or like a client being like, I'd like to save some money. Do you really want to save some money? Because if you do, future you will be future you will be mad, because the money that you saved is now going to cost you twice as much potentially. We were talking about this with Wiley on the show that just passed. Yeah, it's just funny when you really start to really think about the future, but in a realistic way. You can't go too far because you really don't know where you're going to be. But you can honestly think about the future today and say, well, if I do this, that really doesn't benefit me.
Right.
Doesn't.
But then you have to make the active decision to not do it instead of doing it anyways.
Self-control.
Even though it doesn't benefit you.
I'm telling you, we have been on a lot of topics, but each one
falls into the other.
Hand in hand with the other.
100%.
There is no key to life.
Yeah, self-control, accountability, all of it. It all ties together. Yeah. And you have to do all the little steps in order to make the big steps.
I told you the other day, I am actively thinking about getting an accountability coach.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I think that my life is so far gone that I have no idea, no clue how to run it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I need someone outside of just you to keep me accountable.
Yeah.
Okay, I have God. That's the most accountable.
Right.
But even then, I can some days feel myself be like, he didn't see that. He did.
He did. Guess what?
But that is a true Simpsons like kind of joke. You know, it's like that is the Simpsons is a super, super like that is life in so many ways because we try to get away with things.
Yeah.
Even with the person that, you know, sees it all.
All the things, yeah. Like, oh, he's too busy. He didn't see that.
But with you, so it's like, okay, with you, it's like you don't wake up at 4:30 and watch me work out.
Mm-hmm. So the only person holding you accountable to working out as hard as you should be working out is you.
The cats.
They don't care.
And
they're lazy.
They're asleep. Cats don't work out.
Yeah.
They all are asleep around me.
They're watching you like, fool.
Those freaking cats, I feed them at 4:30 or like 4:15. They're asleep by 4:45. Yep. They've all pooped. They've all peed. They've chased each other for about 2 minutes. And
they're
then
like, oh, man. Good day.
The dog's asleep. Everybody's asleep. So I have zero person to keep me accountable except myself. And some days some days I'm really good at it. Some days I slip.
Yeah.
And it's human freaking nature.
Yeah, you are human.
There's no like this is no superhuman kind of thing we're talking about. This is just like, look, if you think that you could be better, you can be. If you're already thinking that way, then you need to be.
Yeah, 100%.
If
you're doubting how hard you're working, then you already know you're not working hard enough.
Or if you're wishing,
yeah,
I wish I had that. Well, then
get after it.
Get after it. Like, okay, there's certain things that are just you have to go through the process, but well, if you don't start, you'll never go through the process.
Exactly.
So they all work hand in hand. And that's the fun part about talking on this podcast about stuff is, you know, sometimes, yes, some of them might sound similar, but they're similar because they all work together within the whole program of what life is, you know? And there's not one person I've ever met that's perfect. There's not one person that I've ever like looked up to that's perfect. They all say the same thing. Consistency, accountability,
yeah.
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
What's another good one?
I mean, I feel like you're naming all the good ones. Consistency, accountability, sacrifice.
Drive. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, start with a plan. Like Rob Dyrdek said it really good the other day. He's like, you know, you'll never, ever, ever accomplish what you want if you never just start something.
Yeah.
And it'll never actually get better either if you never just start something. Because you'll just say like, oh, I wish I had that.
Well, you could have. Did you put into place X, Y, Z?
But what's crazy about how, like, I think, and now that I've started to work on this project, and now that we're starting to come to like the final pieces of this project, it's so crazy because it morphs. Your life like truly does morph, and there's things about your life that internally changes you because you're trying things different, you're thinking about things different, and you're sacrificing things. So you're like we sacrifice parties all the time to save money right now because future us are looking. Well, for one, we're looking at education for our kids
and trying to invest.
Well, and that's part of it. I mean, that's a giant chunk.
Huge.
We watched that Money show the other day.
Oh, man, that documentary on Netflix was awesome.
Blew my mind.
Yeah. We need to watch it again.
Like, it sounds like you hear it your whole life. You're like, oh, you should take $20 every week and put it into the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. Go do it.
You really
right
should.
Now. Right effing now.
Don't leave that as a problem for future you.
Do not.
Current you needs to go do it.
Even if you start today.
Yeah, right this minute.
S&P 500. I'm not saying that I know anything more than what they showed us, but just the bottom line stat, we talked to our guy right away.
On average, 10% returns every year.
I text messaged Zach
Mm-hmm.
seconds after that show.
I know.
I was like, are we in the right thing?
Are we giving enough?
He was like, yes. He was like, actually, you can never give enough, but you can give a few more.
Yeah.
And Zach has been so helpful to us, not only because, we're friends and family, but because he truly understands what sacrifice and doing those little details of your life equate to down the road, you know? And I highly suggest, so it's not me giving this advice. This is advice that's
actually been coming from professionals.
Professionals, yeah. Like don't just like...
We don't know what we're talking about, but the professionals that have told us.
The professionals in our lives. And that's the other thing, though. And I don't want to be a self-help coach. I just want to tell my story and let people go, oh, shit.
That makes sense.
I've been where PK has been.
Mm-hmm.
How do I get out of it? Well, maybe I'll listen to his story, and then maybe he'll give me an idea, and da-da-da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
I look to professionals all the time. The whole reason that I'm doing this entire thing that I'm doing with the project is that all I want is for our life, for future PK and future BK and future MKs to be fruitful.
Mm-hmm.
Not only with monetary ways, but with time.
Mm-hmm.
Time is the greatest commodity ever.
Absolutely.
And so all that we're doing right now is sacrificing time now for hopefully 10x time down
later.
The road.
Yeah. 100%.
And I use 10x time because it's true. It's like that's what you hear these people say, and you're like, I don't get it. I finally get it because all I was doing was giving my time to other people so they could 10x their time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm going to 10x my time, and I'm going to smile, and I'm going to wave.
Absolutely.
From a completely different place in life. But it starts today, and it starts with all those little movements.
It really does.
So I know we've harped on it for quite some time, but...
Not harping.
I'm passionate about it, though.
We dug into it. I mean, I don't think it's harping. I think it's good to share these perspectives because sometimes it just takes somebody sparking a new way of thinking in you to really have you grasp a whole new side to something that can change your life.
Yeah. Look, I'll be the first to ever admit my faults now.
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago, PK, completely different person.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Completely different person. And I can even look at my life now and, honestly say like, dang, I'm sorry to all the people that I wronged.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see my life now in a completely different light.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only getting better because I want it to be better, but I'm also willing to make those sacrifices to make it better. Not just for me, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. Like, now my time, I don't want my time to be selfish anymore.
Right.
I want my time to be given.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give my time to you. I want to give my time to our children. Then I want to turn around and give my time to our neighborhood.
Right.
And our community and our family and if I could, the world.
Yeah.
But it starts with me making that initial change.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I like to, have a drink and do all those things, the only thing that does is steal my time.
That's true. Absolutely.
It's fun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying
no regrets.
No one else.
But you can't get the time back.
Don't quit drinking because of me. I'm doing this because I realized that was the first thing that stole my time.
Yeah.
Because it took everything for me the next day to even try to like get out of bed.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that doesn't mean I'm done drinking. It just means that I'm very wise about when I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and how much.
So, it's like F1 2023. I'm hammered. Hammered drunk in the front row.
That's the goal.
Like, I'm yelling Freebird to the cars passing.
The hangover is a problem for future PK.
That is 2023 PK's problem in November.
For sure.
Can you believe? I mean, okay, so here's a great, so okay, we'll wrap this up shortly, but here's like something really cool to think about. We're right now making sacrifices and pushing our asses off so that, and you too. I'm not even going to get into your side. I'm just going to say my side, but we're meeting in the middle because we both have a shared goal.
Yeah.
And that shared freaking goal is Formula One, Las Vegas Strip.
November next
year. And that's
let's hope. We're working on it.
It ain't cheap for one.
No, we're trying to figure out every way to make it cheaper.
I think next to like tennis, that's the most expensive freaking sport, or maybe polo, and
I think it is probably the most expensive.
I don't know. Going to the USO, going to some of those tennis matches are pretty expensive.
Sure, that's true. But on average,
I'm going to say that there's 500, or there's probably going to be 400 other thousand people trying to get to Vegas that weekend as well.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no way in...
We should probably just go ahead and book our hotel room, honestly.
Where? At Circus? I
don't care where. We're just going to sleep there. Who cares?
You know, the funniest place I ever stayed in Vegas was called the Wild Wild West.
Oh, really? I feel like you've told me about this place before.
So do you remember where they filmed The Hangover?
Yeah.
And they go into, they go to the stripper's house to get the baby.
Yeah.
Or they have the baby and they're
Yeah. And they go to find the mom.
So I'm pretty sure they pan out from a shot and it's, you're looking back at the strip and there's the In-N-Out burger right there. And it's like a casino truck stop hotel.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm probably going to mess this up and my dad will probably kill me, but I think he forgot to book our rooms. He'll swear up and down there's something else.
Of course.
But I'm going to say that he forgot to book our rooms.
Sorry, Jeff.
Not sorry. But it ended up being a really fun trip. My friend Amanda, I worked at Hooters at the time, and my friend Amanda, we went, and I think it was my birthday. Yeah, because we would go every year for my birthday for the SEMA show, yada, yada, yada. And didn't have rooms. Another big event. It's hard to get rooms if there's big events.
Very hard, yeah.
And so it was like $25 a night per room.
What?
I think they had a 99-cent buffet at the. I watched a guy get rolled out on a stretcher out of this 90. I swear it was, but I've won more money there on playing craps than I've ever won anywhere else on the strip.
I love it.
I lost it all shortly after that.
Of course. But you had it for a second.
But I played craps with all these truckers for hours that night. It was a fun experience.
Oh my goodness.
I'm pretty sure that it was filmed, like the Hangover part was filmed there, but when they got it inside her room, it was a different
thing. Yeah.
But everything was glued down. Like the remote was glued to the.
Gosh, stop.
Yeah, the ashtray was glued down.
There was an ashtray. No.
Oh, are you kidding me? There was like cigarette burns everywhere.
Oh my goodness.
I'll never forget that experience. But
yikes.
But we can stay there. It's cheap. Hey, we're trying to save money right now.
Yeah.
That's a problem for future Phil.
That's a problem for future Phil.
At least we have a room.
Yeah, at least we have a room. We'll get something figured out.
But yeah, there it is. Like if you ever watch or watch this show and you've gotten this far into it and after all the spider talk, it's true. I will be the first to admit all my faults right now because I never did it before, but I do it now because it's only making my life better. And I'm so willing to talk to anybody. There's people that have reached out to us and done the BetterHelp thing. They're like, what do you think about it? I'm like, honestly, I've gone through most of the steps, but I've never actually talked to the person. But I honestly have heard only the best stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what? It seems like we've had 2 people go through it, and it seems like it's helping.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's another thing. It's like look, I want to help people. That's the key to this whole thing. I'm not looking for your money. I'm doing this and I'm putting myself out here on the show and your life and our life and all that we can to a certain extent. You know, like we're not giving out our address on here or our phone number.
Right.
But we're trying to truly just give our story so that way someone goes, shit.
Yeah.
Damn it. I wish they would have never said that because now I was trying to leave that for future Johnson.
Yep, future Johnson.
So, all right.
I love it.
But we had fun, and we really appreciate you guys always sticking by us, even with this new
schedule.
The new schedule's weird. It's hard to get into it, but I have so much other things going on that it's helpful.
It's healthy for us right now.
I do miss, the daily posts that no one watched. No, the U5 are really nice. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
But no, I all I can say is thank you so much. You guys have honestly been, so awesome listening to us and going through all this stuff. But if you ever have any questions or thoughts, and
let us know.
Yeah, just reach out.
And we're happy to be back.
Happy to be back. Happy to be back.
Yes.
I said that too many times.
I don't know why you said that twice.
Am I happy to be back?
I don't know. Are you?
Right now.
We better go.
I've had 2 sips of this.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Bottoms up. Thank you so much.
Have a great week and happy Halloween.
Spider in your hair.
Bye.
Bye.